Focus. Ideate. Innovate. Enable. Third edition of IoT India Congress 2018, the platform of platforms for the Internet of Things. The Silicon Valley of India, Bengaluru, fittingly hosted the third successful IoT India Congress in October 2018. The coveted two-day event is the most important confluence of digital technology stakeholders in the IoT ecosystem. The platform of platforms for Internet of Things in India unifies the fragmented IoT ecosystem for demonstrating business opportunities and outcomes. Designed and conceptualized by IET's Internet of Things panel, the third edition of IoT India Congress witness the best of the best converge on a single forum and provide insights to the essence of IoT. The event hosted thought-provoking discussions, compelling keynotes, insightful technology-enabled demo sessions, and a glittering award ceremony that recognized the best talent in the industry. The IoT India Congress 2018 kicked off with a welcome address by Shekhar Sanyal, followed by key addresses from stalwarts from the IoT space.
It's my privilege and delight to welcome all of you for the third edition of the IoT India Congress. It's been a terrific journey over the last 3 years that the IoT India Congress has become what it has become right now. The IET is focused on working to engineer a better world. So engineers solve problems, they build things, but we are very bad at talking about it, right? So the IET wants to be the platform, or is the platform, which helps engineers to impact society in a positive way and get engineers together on this platform to work on it. Because this is a neutral platform, it also allows organizations which otherwise would not be able to talk to each other, people from organizations, to come together on this platform and work together again. So now we will do an inauguration in the true digital sense of the IoT India Congress.
That IET has three main components: the IT, the telecommunication, and the manufacturing, the devices part, is something which the government had started taking focus on. So how to take the advantage of two, where we are already leaders, how the third, where the country is trying to grow, to make India the leader in IoT. With that kind of vision, IoT gave us a platform which is a neutral platform of volunteers. From 8 working groups, today we are 12. The 12 are on the telecom, healthcare, manufacturing, smart cities, utilities, retail, agriculture, and Ganga rejuvenation. And the 4 horizontals on cyber security, social sector, standard and regulatory, and skills. And today I am very happy to announce that from 30 people, we are today completing 100 working group members.
IoT has arrived. Not just IoT, Internet of Everything has arrived. And it has arrived, and it will be unfolding itself much faster than any other revolution we had thought of. We actually missed the first industrial revolution, we missed the second industrial revolution, and when electronics arrived in India, we started one state corporations in every state. We missed that too. But this time we cannot afford to do it because it is starting faster, it is happening faster. If India needs to be a 5 trillion economy in 2025, where 51% of the economy is to be contributed by the digital economy, can we afford to miss that? We cannot. And when we cannot afford to miss that opportunity, we also cannot afford to miss our association with IET. our association with all beaming engineers in this room. What are the core elements? I've added the 8 elements, I believe, which is for me clear, which is coming up. We're talking, one part is the coverage, the best network, 2, 3, 4G. The next generation will be 5G. We should talk today about 5G, but implementation today is 2, 3, 4G, or 2G, 4G, a mix of this, especially for IoT services. IoT everywhere. I talked about the 2.7 million data points per day. Think a little bit crazy and disruptive. What else you can connect for the future? What is the value for you and the customer?
Innovation is something which comes out of fun and play. As innovators in IoT, I think you all have an opportunity to think big, to work big. Jürgen says, apply in India and take it abroad. You have an opportunity. I see a lot of young people, and I think you young people have the opportunity to be able to create great things around you. So keep this in mind. There are 14 unicorns in the United States, 1 billion capitalization plus, and they are being led by Indian-born or by Indian leaders.
It's really important for this industry is to think about that simple statement for what we're trying to do as an industry. There are all of these products which are out there, and there's now the need to connect them to create services that will be valuable to those companies and their customers. But the reality is that the innovation that you all are creating here, your ability to extend that globally is really the case. And I ask that you don't just think about India, which is easy to do because it's such a large market, because there is such great local opportunity here. I do think that the global IoT community is important and that we want to create innovations for people all around the world, whether here or elsewhere. And the innovations you can create, we'd love to see exported and people having the benefit of those innovations.
Over the years, the IoT India Congress and its popularity has grown phenomenally. The third edition of the conclave attracted more than 113 industry leaders, speakers, and champions from the technology and IoT universe on a single platform. To discuss the future of IoT in India, the best industry minds converged across 7 high-powered panels and 13 keynote sessions covering a wide spectrum of subjects. Healthcare was an area of focus with a multitude of pressing issues facing the sector discussed across sessions.
Healthcare system in India is very, very complicated. Most people don't realize there are 4 sectors of healthcare system. There is one sector of population who are served by the medical college hospitals. Like if you ask 100 people, say, will you get examined and treated by a medical student? 30% will say, I don't want to even go near there. But there are population who will be willing to go and get there. The second sector of people who are getting treated is a government hospital. The third sector is a mom and dad held nursing home. And the fourth sector is a corporate hospital.
So that brings me to you, Shyam. You know, you've worked with very large private hospitals. You've also worked with large government schemes. So is there, how big is that gap when from your angle?
The key thing is to clearly understand the solutions and tailor it to the segment that you're going to, because the disparity is massive. So one size fits all will not work.
The problem is an insurance scheme, end of the day, we are running it for profit, higher, large profit or small profit apart. The issue with some of the schemes is the public health goals are not necessarily integrated as part of the successful insurance scheme. Having said that, the new scheme actually now is integrated, so we are yet to see how it's going to be implemented. It's more complex, so as insurers we have a limited role to play unless our outcomes are measured based on public health.
I think India has a really, necessity is a mother of invention. So there's a lot of need here to put the structure in place, and if it's done correctly and done with a framework of information, communication, sharing, that's where startups will.
Everybody's trying. If you see 90% of the work is happening, how do you make it affordable means? How do we reduce cost of operating? How do we use cost of infrastructure? Can we, create more secondary care? But the point is, there's a huge piece of that pyramid which is upside down, where if you start doing detection at the right time, if you start doing screening at the right time, if you start creating access, availability, and awareness, it will automatically make it affordable, right?
This needs to be done more and more often. When companies come together, private sectors, and then you have government sector influences all coming together on stage to talk about great initiatives, it opens up people's mind and gives them the excitement.
The response is very good. There is this huge number of startups. The number of people who applied for the Thought Leader Awards has increased significantly. Speakers have come all over the world. So we are very enthusiastic. The response from government, response from academia, the response from industry, everybody, all sectors has been excellent.
What I feel very strongly is that the Indian people and its entrepreneurs are incredibly innovative as any I've seen around the world. So it's a lot of fun for me to be here and get the energy that's associated with being in India.
It's a great experience where we are seeing a lot of innovation, a lot of people exhibiting their products here.
Third edition of IoT India Congress 2018, the platform of platforms for the Internet of Things. Third edition of IoT India Congress 2018, the platform of platforms for the Internet of Things. The third IoT India Congress saw an unprecedented footfall as delegates flocked to watch some of the biggest names in the industry deliberate upon the future of IoT. In fact, it was not just about ideas, but live demonstrations as well at the platform. 2 live zones focusing on cutting-edge technology allowed participants to experience IoT in action. Featuring innovations in healthcare and telecom, the live zones enthralled participants, experts and policymakers alike. 4 intense hands-on workshops featuring the use of IoT in various capacities were an integral part of this 2-day tech extravaganza. India and Israel, 2 leading powers in the technology and innovation space, formally joined hands to launch the first Indo-Israel Innovation Center. Multiple panel discussions taking place across 3 halls at the venue kept technology enthusiasts and professionals captivated. The session themed IoT as an enabler for upskilling higher education was one of the highlights of the day.
IoT and the impact of IoT. Just to tell you, just to give you a perspective, Cisco's Visual Networking Index predicts that the total number of IoT devices will be thrice, that means will be 3 times the world's population by 2021.
Is there a deep understanding of what IoT is? Because IoT has also a very, very distributed interpretation. How do you approach it with your students?
By knowing the importance of IoT, because the students are future engineers, they are going to develop and contribute their talent in the technology growth. So we like to start BTech Computer Science Engineering program with a specialization on IoT. So we have started this one in last year batch. So in the curriculum, we are having the courses which are very much important for knowing the IoT technology.
Parents talks about whether IoT is an electronics kind of a specialization or it is a computer specialization, or because it has got a very wide range of applications, starting from electrical to production engineering, automation, control systems engineering, renewable energy, everywhere. I mean, healthcare industry. So, if we say IoT, IoT is a complete package and driven by the new technologies.
We all try and define IoT, how we've perceived it. And anecdotally, I could put it across as three blind men. trying to figure out what the elephant is. And to each of them, it's slightly different. That's where organizations like IEEE and IET come into play. We come together and try and simplify as much as possible how certain things are defined. So for example, IoT in this case. IEEE is trying to define it such that it can be structured fairly simple so that engineers like you or professionals like you can go back and build abstractions on top of it. Where IET and IEEE come together is that we build standards that talk to everybody.
IoT is more of a skilling in nature, it's not cognitive learning. So to get those skill sets, you need to create an environment, right? You need to create project-based learning, you need to align your faculties to ensure the faculties are in line with the project-based learning. You need to create an environment where people can learn things hands-on.
Focus has been institutionalization of project-based learning, institutionalization of innovation initiatives, because, traditionally what happens is, setting up a lab is easy. I mean, many of our clients and us, we work with the likes of Microsoft, Oracles, IBMs, VMwares of the world that have these institutional outreach programs where they will set up a lab. So when you create a structure where most students participate in activities that lead to utilization and hopefully a better outcome, better learning outcomes, better industry outreach, and then you will start finding the diamonds in the rough.
Institutionalizing IoT as a prime focus is our priority, and we do this by making the university as hub of industry collaboration. We look at the 75% skill shortage that we have in terms of IoT.
Some of the luminaries from the world of media and entertainment, including Piyush Pandey, Anurag Batra and Vijay Karya, shared their perspective on democratizing media, education and entertainment with technology as a key enabler. White papers chronicling the groundbreaking work done in the IoT space were released during the event. This provided the talent assembled an opportunity to get their work recognized on a global platform and pique the interest of tech and startup enthusiasts. The IoT India Congress aims at holistic growth of the sector. To encourage further innovation in the space, awards were presented to some of the biggest talents from the industry through the IoT Thought Leadership Awards.
So while the thought leaders were being evaluated, one of the parameters was whether they were thinking responsibly. The second aspect of thought leadership, sometimes we think that's all there is to thought leadership, is the creativity aspect. But even if you take creativity in its most generic sense, it is still multidisciplinary. And then hands-on. And then finally, not finally, but change agents. So that again was evaluated. You need to reimagine businesses. And finally, it has to be impactful. It has to be globally pioneering. We had 44 entries which were accepted, and by the IET core committee, 11 were shortlisted. And today you will see of that shortlist who are the winners.
This is very exciting for me. I always find it very exciting to be, I'm like a little child when it comes to technology. I always find it very exciting to hear about new companies that are changing the world. So thank you so much for having me here, and it's wonderful to be amongst thought leaders and to give away awards to people, like I said, that are changing the way the world will function. Thank you. I think platforms like this not only provide you with an opportunity to showcase what you're doing, but they also get you support from the right people.
Whatever you're doing in IoT, you need to touch and feel how it really works. And for example, startups have most of the time wonderful ideas, cool ideas. But the problem is how to go to market. They have a problem, and here you can bring all the people together. The innovation which is coming most of the time from the startups.
A platform like this is very important because the people who we're talking about, the innovators, the techies,
opportunities for people who aren't really salespeople or business people and don't know how to get to market. This puts them in front of people and government to show the kind of products that they've got, the benefits that they bring to society, and also that to put them in front of investors.
We had a fabulous turnout, about more than close to 1,000 people turned up here, stakeholders from the industry, from academia, from corporate, from startups, investors. So we had a really, really good time. We are very excited about it. And I think we're truly serving as a platform of platforms to help the IoT business to come together.
Third edition of IoT India Congress 2018, the platform of platforms for the Internet of Things. Focus, ideate, innovate, enable.